Cowboy hats are great in the rain. Actually, this one is pretty good.
I was out there, didn't even realize it was getting ready to rain. And I'm out there and the neighbor came and talked to me and I'm like, what's that noise? And not once did my glasses get any rain on them, my face, nothing.
We're new to the world of hats. It's freezing today, so he's all bundled up in his little outfit.
What are we maybe doing today?
Stay tuned. We'll let you know.
Shenks for the memories.
Where are we going?
Raven's Glen Winery and Restaurant. We're trying to decide whether we should get another dog.
Okay, this is on the down low because we haven't told anybody and everyone would think we were crazy. So we're going through the whole process of
Are we crazy?
are we crazy? And yeah, neither one of us really want. We do, but it's mostly
It's not like we crave more responsibility.
no.
We don't want to have to train another dog because we still haven't trained Francois. But we're sort of thinking separation anxiety, and we're sort of thinking if we got him another dog, he might settle down a little bit more and be more at ease. Like we're getting ready to leave him in the truck here, and we leave him running, and he's safe and everything. But like, would he do better if he had a little friend? And could we maybe even leave them in the RV if we went someplace? Because right now we can't leave him in the RV because he just barks through the thin walls, and that's just not real considerate of the neighbors.
We have contemplation in our head.
Lick my nose. Lick my nose.
Anyway, that's what we're kind of driving and thinking. We actually went and visited an Amish breeder and visited a couple dogs. And if you know me, I don't walk away from animals very easily. And the situation that these dogs were in kind of broke our hearts.
Just because it's a breeder.
Yeah, but the puppies have already been born, so they're there, and so my
And I
heart.
guess we don't think breeders are bad. Like, I
No,
wouldn't say that. It's just, it's a
absolutely
lot of
not.
dogs in a little space.
Yeah, but it just didn't seem like maybe they were as well taken care of as I would have liked. And so then my heart goes out to all these puppies and even the adult dogs they have there. So we're just kind of in maybe we'll go have a glass of wine. It's almost noon.
Now, here's a thing that you don't necessarily think about in RV life. When you're in an RV resort, or a campground, like what we are, this happens to be called Berlin RV Resort. But when you're in a campground like we are, and you're packed in, you can hear everything. I'm an early riser-ish, and this morning I was like, what is that noise? It was like a thumping, like boom, 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 boom. It was like, what is that? And I looked out, and the camper next to me had their blinds open. I wasn't like trying to look in. I just saw movement inside. And the guy inside his camper was playing with his dogs, and I could hear inside my camper, I could hear the dogs jumping around. Like, I had no idea. Now I know that, like, we've tested it where if we watch TV inside, you can hear it outside. Like, we know that kind of thing. But it's just interesting that you really do hear everything. It reminds me of Nepal, where if it's happening inside, you can hear it outside. If it's happening outside, you can hear it inside. I'm not complaining about my neighbors. I'm just saying that not everyone always thinks. The guy has a diesel, and so he decided that I guess he's getting ready to go someplace. So about 12 or 15 minutes ago, he decided to get his diesel warming up. And so it's just sitting next to us, just idling. and it's loud. 7:40 in the morning. I guess he's allowed to. I'm just saying that when we're in an RV campground, you should be considerate. And the guy is a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Probably just not thinking about how it affects others. Anyway, just figured I would bring you all into that experience.
We have a surprise. We added to our family. We haven't decided on a name. I'm thinking Berlin. He's not sure.
I mean, Berlin's not bad.
We'll be able to get better. He's so scared right now.
But we thought about Berlin when we looked at another dog that was actually in Berlin. And this one's actually in Millersburg. Wendy's maiden name is Miller. And we were thinking, well, we could call him Miller, or we could call him Berg. Our one grandson, Titus, his middle name is Miller. So that... And I was thinking of naming him Avasisi. And so then we would have Francis Avasisti. That's not really funny or anything. I was thinking we could name him Nanu Nanu since he's a Morkie, which doesn't make sense to anyone who doesn't remember Mork and Mindy.
Francis, so far in the last 20 minutes, has not adjusted well. He won't look at me.
But he's sleeping.
Yeah, he did lay down finally, but he was not. But his face is away from me. He doesn't want to have anything to do with me.
And it's so weird because
He's so social.
whenever he sees other dogs, he wants them. But if we look at a puppy to get, like if mom is holding him, Francis doesn't want anything to do with the puppy. So there's some jealousy going on.
Yeah, it's like if this puppy was on a leash and somebody else had him, he'd be all over this puppy.
Right.
But right now, so there'll be some adjustments. You'll have some adjustments in the next while. So stay tuned. Follow along.
Okay, and the really crazy thing, so we get this Morkie off the internet kind of thing, and we go and talking with the lady, and I can tell by her name that she's from Amish or Mennonite background, and we're talking and stuff, and just da-dum, her stepdaughter went to school with one of our best friends. Like, I'm just trying to say sort of who we know and stuff, and she's like, oh, Felicia. Yeah, my daughter went to school with her. And so we ended up buying a puppy from friends.
Friends of friends.
Yeah, in
1
Ohio.
degree separation.
And they own a house in Sarasota, and her husband's a little bit older than me, like 5 years older than me, but grew up going down there. He has a bunch of siblings and stuff in Sarasota.
It's a good thing.
What are we doing?
We're gonna go get some Amish baked goods because it was recommended and we haven't eaten today, so
And what specifically was recommended?
cinnamon rolls,
Maybe.
apple fritters, fried pies, I don't know, whatever they have in there. But we have to leave Francis in the car and he's not gonna be happy. And Berlin, we're gonna try taking him in, I think.
What she said is we're going to try and go in
Guys,
and we're going to try to take Berlin inside, but Francis is probably not going to like it a whole lot.
We're trying to work on our sound. and
You're not.
evidently-
You're not trying to.
Yes, I am. I am talking full voice.
No, like for this, it's like, well, kind of. And
I think he's over-exaggerating.
so you're agreeing that you're not even trying.
No, I am talking as loud as I think I should.
It doesn't make sense.
Can you hear me? I think you can hear me fine.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
Okay, we're going to the bakery. Peace out.
We just came from Charm, Ohio, which is such a cute name for a little Amish town. And it had all these cute little things, like places where you can get like a cowboy hat for your wife and then walk across the street and get cowboy boots for your wife. And then she could get cowboy boots for her husband. So I guess we don't need to do that anymore.
No. That wasn't your question anyway.
No, I wanted to say that when we were down there in like when we were in the one place, what was the name of that? Harness and boot.
Charm,
and boot.
harness, and boot.
Like if you can go down there, it's cool. But so two of them are connected. One is where they have all the stuff, and then the other is where they have the clearances. And we were in the clearance, and there was an Amish girl named Rose who was just so easy to talk to. I asked her all kinds. Like I was asking her, I didn't say what is it like to be Amish, but I asked
Almost.
her
That's
pretty
about
much.
the.
But
gist
she
of it.
was so forthcoming with everything.
Yeah.
Like my experience, if you're friendly toward Amish, like they have sort of this reputation of not being friendly to outsiders. If you're friendly to them, they are friendly. This sounds so stupid to have to say, but they're real people. This girl, Rose, she was extroverted and the whole bit. One of the questions I asked her is, if you have to get someplace fast, how do you go? And she said, bike. And I said, well, why do some people walk then? Because in my world, like you will always take a car, even if it's around the block, because it's faster. But then, like last week, I saw families walking home from church. And I said, why? And she said, well, it takes long, like if it's not very far, it takes longer to saddle up those horses, longer to hook up the buggy and stuff. So I started, as we were driving through the hills, of which Wendy just took footage that Becca is going to be rolling as we talk right now. I thought, so if someone had the choice to go to Amish country, Holmes County, Ohio, or Amish country, Shipshewana, Indiana,
They are so different.
like what would you pick?
Yeah, they're so different. The landscaping in Ohio is so hilly, and the roads are so narrow and blind spots, but the farms and homes are beautiful. The landscape is beautiful, and other than being kind of scary driving, I think Ohio is definitely prettier.
Yeah.
But there's something great about the LaGrange, Shipshewana, Elkhart area too, that it's flatter. You have a little bit of hills, but it's flatter.
It's easier to see,
It's easier to see. Yeah.
but it's not as beautiful.
It's a different
It's
kind
different
of beauty. And so I would say do both, because you can get there in one day.
The Google Maps out at 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that.
Something like that. It's really
Yeah,
not far
not
in
very
between. Both of them have great restaurants and food and people, and so go to both.
Places to go in Shipshewana, Blue Gate restaurant. If you're like entertainment stuff, go to the Blue Gate Theater.
He's got big stuff coming in there. They're pretty
And
popular.
by you mean
Mel Riegsecker is a friend of ours, and he owns
all that.
but we would recommend it anyway. And
if you go in there, ask for Mel and tell him that Roger and Wendy said hi.
do.
And then just see what happens. Here, sort of a similar recommendation. In Shipshewana area in Indiana, you also have the
S&H,
S&H,
which is in Middlebury, actually.
Middlebury. These are all restaurants, Amish restaurants, Mennonite restaurants. Here you have the Das Dutchman S&H and
in Walnut Creek.
Yeah, in Walnut Creek.
Recommend that
recommend that.
Okay, we found the best pizza. And I don't know if we talked about it already on video or not, but
Because this was the first time we were here.
Yeah, first time meaning 2 weeks ago. It's called Park Street Pizza. It is in Sugar Creek, and literally hands down, I think it's the best pizza that I've ever had. Of course, both times we ate it, we were really hungry, but it was still really good. Fully recommend it.
And usually when you eat pizza, you would say you're really hungry. Like that just sort of comes with us. Like when do you order pizza? I'm just thinking about this. When do you order pizza that you're not really hungry? Like you just sort of always, at least for me, every time I'm like, the pizza shows up and was like, I'm starved. Oh, and then Miller's Bakery.
Oh yeah, that
was this morning.
It felt like we were driving into someone's driveway. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. Miller's Bakery. That's probably a Millersburg address.
Yeah, it might be. It's closer to Berlin, near Guggisburg and
Hirschberger Farms, which is also fun to go to. They have a petting zoo and all that. So the Holmes County up here has lots of things to do if you guys want to come up and just have fun.
And if you've never had a fry pie, have a fry pie.
Yeah, those are good. Okay, now we're going into a pet store to get...
Not to get another puppy.
No, to get Berlin a new harness.
Things.
Yep. See you later.
Mm-hmm.
This is so heavy. Come on. Come on, baby. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Oh, good job.
Good
for taking
job.
steps. All right. So sometimes when Roger has meetings here in the trailer, I just come out here to give them their space. We have this nice dog fence for my dogs to run around and play in, and look where they are. Just on my lap. Berlin is at my feet. So all this space around here to play, and they just want to sit on my lap. Right, Francis? Right? Yeah.
This is intimidating. Very intimidating.
Like, pretty scary.
So we're in a storm. It says severe. It said
75
winds up to 75 miles an hour and possibility of hail up to 2 inches. Everything about that I don't like.
Well, we heard something crash on the roof a little bit ago. We have no idea what that is. So we'll have to see about that in the morning, I guess. It's
And then we
10
have
o'clock at night.
yeah, 10.
And we did take all our chairs in and all our outside except for our little fence. But man, is it windy.
Was not expecting this. I thought it was
No.
going to drizzle tonight.
We had no idea.
Although looking to the north, it was dark.
No,
But we were talking with some locals, and they were like, "Yeah, it looks like there's going to get some rain up north."
yeah. Yeah, it was a little... Anyway, this is our first night. It has rained in here before, and even a little bit of wind. But
It stormed that one time when you were asleep.
But nothing.
This is the first that and we know that this happens, but of course you start going, "Are we supposed to run and get shelter?" But
And we're surrounded by a whole bunch of other RVs.
yeah,
So it's just intimidating for your first
right.
time.
I mean, we know that it would take an awful lot of winds to blow over a 20,000-pound thing. Like that's a lot.
We're very thankful that Francis over there is not affected by the thunder and lightning at all. I'm so excited because I had never thought that really was. And this guy, he's just,
He fell off the chair a little bit ago.
he did.
The other thing that's going on is on each of our slides we have awnings that are like permanent awnings that are attached to it. But when the wind blows it just a little bit, it goes and it gets really noisy. And I think that was what we heard, was it just took a flop. We disagree. We'll find out.
Yeah. Anyway, just keeping you up to date.
Right.
We are leaving Berlin for the second time, and we collected a little Berlin momentum.
A momentum or a solitude? Is it?
Memento.
Memento.
Memento. Not the candy. We got little Berlin.
The candy is mento.
Oh, Memento. I think you get my point. We have a little puppy named Berlin that we got for memories of our trip. That's not the reason why we got him. That's why we named him Berlin.
Right, we got him so that he would help keep Francois less barky and stuff when we're not around.
Yep.
And this morning, when we were getting everything hooked up, Wendy ran into town for a bit. I was walking around outside, and the dogs were inside, and they didn't bark. There was one time that I sort of made a noise, and Francis barked, but maybe then when I would go in there, they were together.
Yeah. That was,
So maybe.
We're hopeful. We'll keep you posted on that. Francis is doing so good. He doesn't like to be woken up by Berlin at all, and like actually none of us do. We got no sleep last night because of Berlin. Yeah. Well, okay. I got no sleep, and Francis struggled to sleep, but Roger slept well. Anyway, all that to say, we're headed to Indianapolis, Indiana area. We're going to hopefully connect with our son-in-law's family who lives there. We'll see how that all goes, and hopefully everything will be eventless on the way there.
It's going to be our first harvest host.
Yes. Yeah, because I had a bunch of harvest hosts scheduled and planned when we first set out on our way up to Virginia. But because of our truck problems and we were stuck for 10 days in Middleburg, I had to cancel all those harvest hosts. So this is going to be our first harvest host experience. We will let you know how that goes. That should be fun.
Which means we had to decide how much water do we put in the tank. Fresh water.
Yeah, it's like, what do you guys do? This will be the first time for 3 nights we will not have water hookup. And so we wanted to put enough enough in the tank to last us for 3 days. So, but we didn't want to travel with 117 or 12 or however many gallons we have in our tank.
1,000 pounds.
We didn't want to travel with all that water, so I mean, it's not a big deal. If we need to get water, we'll get water. But
I put in 50 gallons.
yeah, we're
50
starting
gallons
with
of
50.
fresh water. They say a person consumes a gallon of water a day, so that's 2 for us a day. Washing hands and stuff like that, another gallon. But like I know, like the toilet that uses water, and I have measured it that if we take military showers or Navy showers, whatever you call that, if we take the quick showers, for me that's a 5-gallon shower. I think for Wendy, she has more hair, it's a 7-gallon shower, I'm guessing.
I think yours was under 5 and mine was near 5, but I don't remember.
We remember it differently.
Yeah, we do. We usually do. Goodbye, Ohio. Welcome, Indiana.
Not yet.
Again.
But yes. And we're going south to Indianapolis, but for RV safe roads, we're going north. We're going the same way we went to Shipshewana.
Yeah.
And then instead of turning right on Interstate 71, we're going to turn left and then go down to Columbus.
Because the Ohio roads are crazy. A lot of them.
Cray.
Crazy for a trailer. We'll talk to you soon.
If we remember. This right here is a decent road, I guess. But back there we're on I-70, just east of Greenfield and west of Columbus, I guess.
right after the Ohio-Indiana border.
So bad. Like, awful bad.
Yeah, like we would probably try to avoid this road in the future.
Yeah.
So bad. With
Like-
it pulling a trailer.
Like, it just makes you want to give up. It's that bad. So we're just about ready to